ourselves we are prospering, we are participating in the prosperity of those nations, and we create that imprint in that the whole world. So that's one vision. But the mission itself is like aims to bring the software professionals together for their career, self-development, both. It's not just the professional development, but it's self-development. And Prasad Kaipa ji is the great one to guide us through that. Then we aspire to represent the IT professionals' interest in all different types of things. We can focus particularly on the needs, like say it could be on the immigration issues, it could be on like an outsourcing related thing, it could be in India educational policies, so those areas. And mostly that we have so much and we earned that, definitely there is a talent segment, but it's not entirely just ourselves. We got from community and it is our responsibility to give it back to the community. So that's our vision. The objectives are there on the website. With the interest of time, would not go through the objectives. The goals, of course, networking, knowing people, collectively helping each other, lobbying for, there are few things that definitely IT policies, IT professionals, promoting in India, Indians' interest, serving the society. So that's another segment that we talked about. We can, in the subsequent sections, we can talk. But serving the community is not just giving back the money and the time, but giving back what we have the best. And that is our knowledge, our skills. It could be management skills, or it could be our knowledge in specific areas. We know that many universities are there in India, but over there we often find that these topics like software topics, hardware topics are being taught by just some senior who might have passed a couple of years back. Most of the colleges, I'm not talking about the IITs, I'm not talking about the regional colleges and all that thing, but other large number of Indian professions are really coming from those institutions which do not have adequate kind of skills to the trainers. So it could be somewhere that the software professionals who are successful in their life really would interact with those educational institutes and can give back their knowledge and also interact with the Indian education system to make sure that the gap between what they learn in the classes and what is required in the industry is narrowed. So definitely these are the few areas we can look into that. Benefits to the professionals, we all know, so I would not go through that. Benefits to the societies, again, the few things that we really think about. I think that we are all synced with those things. In the chapter activities, we would expect that this kind of networking events, special events, special focused events, focus groups on the technology, business management, or the leadership development, social programs like a once in a 6 months or something, and the cultural programs. These are all we'll do. I will just, I'm just rapidly wrapping up because we are eagerly waiting for Dr. Prasad Kaipa's presentation and guidance to you. So I will stop with this, and probably later on after the program and the subsequent meeting, we'll always get a chance to talk. Thanks once again, all of you, for coming.
Thank you, Kandera. Our next main speaker, Dr. Prasad Kaipa. I don't know how many people have seen him or heard about him or actually attended his topic or his talk. It's very interesting, and I have good memories of that because I was a target of his audience, actually. Prasad Kaipa is a strategic advisor, management guru, and a CEO coach to CEOs, board members, and senior executives. Right now, Dr. Kaipa is a visiting faculty at Indian School of Business. And actually, he is an executive director of Center for Leadership, Innovation, and Change. He is a authority on interpretation of Vedanta to modern management practices So he brings in the Indian or the Eastern thought process into the Western management practices, and I think he might be one of the innovators in this field. So I invite Dr. Kaipa for the talk.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Kanderaji, and thank you, Sriji. The couple of things which I thought I should touch upon is by saying that one of the first aspect which I am actually doing in the Indian School of Business is to understand the Indian mindset. Our interest is to find out how we can develop Indians and people from emerging economies at a later stage to help them become global leaders. There are large number of global leaders from around the world. We have some of them, whether it is Santanu Narayan here, or whether we have various other people who are heading up other parts of the world, whether it is Pepsi or whether it is Citicorp or all kinds of things. But how do we help Indian professionals to lead the world, not just in the small sectors that they are interested in, is what we are looking at. When we talk about career development and self-development, we need to understand what does a turbulent times essentially mean to us. One, especially when we are in turbulent times, one of the first thing that happens is the emotional drainage. There isn't much energy, there is a lot of fear, security is on our issue. Every time our manager or our senior leaders have a big meeting, we wonder whether it's about a layoff, or if they start raising some questions about our performance, we wonder whether our job security is at risk. So this is something that happens. So because this takes a large amount of energy, the emotional draining becomes quite often in a turbulent times. The second one is to look for easy answers from outside. We want somebody else to tell us what are the best ways in which we can develop ourselves, we can grow our careers, we can actually build our careers. We want answers that are given from somewhere else, but packaged, simple, short way. But unfortunate part of this kind of a turbulent time is that it is very complex. I think Oscar Wendell Holmes, one of the Supreme Court justices in early 20th centuries, he said, I would not even give anything for simplicity on this side of complexity, but I would give my right hand for the simplicity on other side of complexity. That simplicity has to come from integrating what you know about what's going on around you with your own self, your own brand, who you are, what you are good at, what you really feel like doing. That means integrating your passion, your skill set, and certain amount of commitment that you have. Those are three things if you can align, like what we call Kaya, Vacha, Manasa. We talk about Trikarana Suddhi. When it is there, our ability to make some things happen becomes a lot higher. So we have to actually understand things are complex and we need to come up with our own answers. That also means we have to take into account the ambiguity. Whatever answer you came up with last week, last month, in your last job, might not necessarily get you to the next job. Essentially, I also find that what got you to a manager role, you have to let go when you become a director. You have to stop managing and you have to actually learn to direct by not becoming a super manager, not micromanaging other managers who came in your role. Similarly, when you become a vice president, you have to stop directing. You have to look presidential, you have to speak presidential, and you have to get their ideas on where and what projects they want to take and how do they want to go forward. So to a certain extent, when there is less of clarity, less of certainty, how to deal with ambiguity is to stretch, is to go beyond, and recognizing there are no guarantees on what works and when. So we have to learn to stretch and grow and go beyond where we have gone.